maaso. Yes, waliwo abo abasalawo ne batambuza opinions zaabwe. Nosanga nti police story ate omunamawulire asoose kugikyusa n'agijjamu ebirowoozo bye. Naye ekyo tuba tusaba nti mugezeeko okuba professional aba batatuuka kuki omutendero. Ekisembayo bibiri n'agamba nti omuntu akukwata afaanana ati omupoliisi. Abantu batugenda kutandika kutambula na firimbi. Firimbi bw'oba nga mwagala kufuuwa firimbi mubanga bagamba nti bwe tunajja n'okukwata abanyi b'enjaga ku kyalo nawo mujja kufuuwa firimbi. Abakwasi b'abaana rapists, ekya tujja okukima rapists ku kyalo okwate firimbi. Polisi esobola okukwata either ng'eyambadde uniform ya polisi oluusi nga tetaddeeko uniform. Kikirizibwa. Manyi powers arrest mulina okuzitegeerako ekintu kimu. N'omuntu wa bulijjo civilian akkirizibwa okukwata omuntu wa bulijjo. Naye mu kintu ekikwatagana ne arrest ebintu ebikulu biri nti omuntu bw'akwatibwa alina kukwatibwa bulungi. Kyova olaba tukondeminga mu justice. Ne bw'aba mu polisi, omupoliisi bw'akukwata alina kukwata bulungi. Naye tekitegeeza nti tayinza kukwatisa maanyi. Asobola okukwatisa amaanyi naye alina okukwata n'amakinga sure nti takozesa maanyi gasiikiridde, ekyo tuyita excess force. Bw'amala okukwata alina okutwala ku police establishment. Tayinza kutwala uwe waka. Bw'amala okukwata alina okuprocessinga n'akutwala mu kooti. Era kati ebintu ebibadde bivaako okuwogana kuno kwonna abantu 11 oba 10 abanu bonna betukutte bagenze mu kooti okujjako omukyalo omu we tulina ate naye munaku nga leero oba enkya ajja kuba naye agenda mu kooti. Ekisembayo abuuziza nti suspect osobola okumutwala mu kooti nga talina statement. Yes, because okuwaako okwa statement liba ddembe lyonga omusibe. Oyinza okusalawo okugiwa, oyinza okusalawo obutagiwa. So ffe abasalawo okutwalayo nga tusinziira ku bujulizi bwe tulina, kubanga gwe statement kyetegeeza iza tolitubuulira sayidi yo eya story. Bwe tuba tugambye nti olunaku luno na luno wali ejjinja wamenya emmotoka y'ono bw'oti n'obbamu ensawo ya laptop oba n'obba laptop, oyinza otubuulira mu statement yo nti kituufu oba si kituufu, nali jjinja oba nali mukono, nzikiriza omusango sigukiriza. That is what your statement is saying. Naye bw'otatubuulira bino byonna tekitegeeza nti tutwala mu kooti. So kyova olaba with or without your statement tuba tulina obujulizi. So mwebale nnyo ku kintu naye twanguweko obudde bunkutte. Yes.
Thank you so much. When you say monthly, there is no arrest on that kind of thing. What you have to do you have one list of those ones and how many are they? Okay. The fears of partisan policing, which people, the public are saying the government. During the nomination of mayors, we saw some pitch from the electoral commission outside the commission. As was said, it was preventative arrest. The following day, we saw someone who moved the NIA, it's cognitive possession. I'm wondering, I was first write to you the NIA what I have in possession in Kampala, and the rest don't write to you. So I feel as though partisan policy, which the problem is specific. And then I thought the attires from military. I saw that you can show some people that this scheme, who don't even throw military attire. I don't know whether I saw a mission from you or the military. It's clarified with this problem.
Okay. Let me begin with the military attire. Since it is military attire, the army will give you the position. Right? 2. Partisan policy. We are not partisan. I have said it here before. The challenge we only have is at times we have a breakdown in communication. between certain, there are particular elements of the political clusters who are belligerent in nature. They like confrontational engagements, where we want, for example, to sit and agree with somebody on how we are going to take him from one point to another. Those people don't agree. Actually, we hear that some of them wish that they are confronted so that they get political mileage. So this issue of where you find there is one whom we have got and we have escorted him home, most likely when we get briefings from our officers on the ground, there is a disagreement on the nitty-gritties on how to conduct the movements of that particular political actor. I think they did it with the, is it Lee? Nubian something. Yeah. The Nubian was escorted back to his home. Ordinarily, yes, the officer on the ground can decide to agree on how to escort you, giving you direction and conducting your numbers. But if you have a very belligerent group of escorts, as police, the officers on the ground may choose to take a particular action, which may involve even taking you back home. 3, wanted list. The wanted list, we are not going to share it with you. Like we told you, we have our own choices. We have shared with you the offense, but those whom we need and we don't need, those whom we shall arrest and shall not arrest, we shall be communicating along the way. Yes. Simanyiyo, any police station, have a brief between us. We do not have, I am the spokesperson of the Uganda Police Force. I have not got any briefing about the arrest of some Mugunya. Thank you. Yes. Abuziza nti mwinayo list yonna gye y'abantu be mugenda okukwata ku unlawful drilling or illegal drilling. Eyo information tetujja kusharinga nammwe now. Naye bwe tunaba tulina omuntu we tupiikize tujja kumubabulira. So ekyo tujja kusooka tukirekera. Then kino kyagambye nti processions, waliwo abakola processions, waliwo abatakola. Usually processions zibadde ate nakati zikyava ku kizibu kyekimu. Aba politicians waliwo abatambula n'ebikosi ebiri very violent. Ng'ate ekigendererwa kyabwe usually ogenda n'osanga nti kye baagala kuteekawo kajagalalo so that bakole amanya. Nga polisi tetujja kukolera abantu political games zaabwe ezo. Assessments za officers on ground zijja kukola omulimu munene. Naye nga at the moment mulina okumanya nti yes, bwe tuba walina okubaawo even a procession kye twadvisinga politician oyo olina okumakinga sure nti okwatagana ne security. Kyekyo kyokka kyekyokwogerera. Anti waliwo abayimbi abamu be balabye mu military attire. Bweba military attire, ekyo katukirekere amagye gajja kukyogerako. Just kyokola toyambala police attire. Waba bw'oyambala uniform ya police, then nawe tujja kubuulira ekyokukola. Kale mwebale nnyo mwebaliriza. So who is next?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Fourth Estate, the general public. I bring you warm greetings from the National Identification and Registration Authority. I want to begin by thanking the country for carrying on with the registration and renewal of IDs. As things stand from 27th of May, we are in week 16, an indication that we're in the evening of this mass drive at your parish. And so, as I begin this morning, I want to call on everybody who has not made the choice to enroll or to register to please do the same while we are still at the parish. I wish to remind you that this project sought to extend this service to you at parish level for a period of 6 months, and now we are fast coming to an end. So if you're viewing us this morning and you've not made the choice to renew your national ID card, or to even apply for one, please kindly make the choice and make haste to visit the nearby parish and complete this process. This morning, I come to speak to you about the 16th day of September, a very monumental day in this country and the rest of the world. It is the International ID Day that conforms to the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG 69. That particular Sustainable Development Goal states that by 2030, every global citizen should be able to have a legal identity, including, among others, birth registration. And so that day is tomorrow, and as NIRA, the body that is mandated with the task of registration of persons in this country and providing them with a legal identity, but also the same body which undertakes the registration of all civil events, including the registration of birth, the registration of death, the registration of marriage. This day means a lot for us. It's a day that we are going to seek to meditate, to focus, to reflect, and ask ourselves, how far have we gone in the process of providing Ugandans with a legal identity? It is a beautiful serendipity that this day is happening at a time when we are at your parish, we are registering you. But to add spice to the celebration of this day as a country, and with the support of our partners at UNICEF and the Ministry of Health, who have provided us with resources, we are going to make specialized outreaches to regional referral hospitals and high volume health facilities. As you have heard, the SDG seeks to celebrate and provide a legal identity for everybody, including registration of birth. We are creating a system with the support of Ministry of Health and with more support from UNICEF to ensure that we register these events as soon as they happen. That as soon as a child is born, we are able to register their event of birth, so that as the mother goes home with a medical discharge form, they are able to also go home with a notification of birth record. But we are also going to create a platform where at the same hospital, the mother can make the choice to apply for a NIN at the health facilities. And so effective tomorrow, we will deploy a kit at high volume facilities with the view of saying that as soon as you have your new bundle of joy, you can walk to the records office and have the event of the birth registered by obtaining your notification record, and then also apply for NIN in real time. In regard to this particular development goal, what is Uganda's commitment? Our commitment as a country, and through NIRA, the body mandated with providing this, we are ensuring that there is universal enrollment. Ladies and gentlemen, I have said this severally and I'm reiterating it this morning. Registration does not rule out anybody regardless of their age or their sex. We are enrolling everybody from age 0 to the oldest person in this country. And it is the reason we are at your parish. But that also said, we are saying more than ever before, for sustainability and to ensure that this country does not incur a cost like this one of mass enrollment again, that we want to lock in the registration at birth where the event happens. That way then we don't have the need to be able to do mass enrollments like the ones we are doing now. And so we are asking the parents that as you go to have your bundle of joy, please make sure that you also lock in the registration of this event at birth. In another turn of events, we are also making this possible to offer legal identity through our diaspora outreaches. I want to extend special thanks to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They have been very kind to us. We have successfully covered the UAE, albeit the fact that there's still demand at large. We have been to America, we have been to Australia, we have been to South Africa, we have been to Tanzania. We are coming to Germany very soon. We are also coming to different countries and will continue to lock in the dates. We are also in UK currently at the summit registering people. So if you're viewing us this morning, please go ahead and celebrate ID Day by having a unique identity. Away from the ID Day, in other turn of events, we want to also go ahead and thank the parents. I remember the last time I was here, we called on the country and said holiday plot was enrollment of children. We want to thank the parents that made the choice to enroll their children. And I want to remind you that this service has not ended. Many people think that this is a one-off and it will not continue. Identification is an ongoing process that does not stop. And so even as the children go back to school, we will not distract them in school because this is a promotional term. But if you have children who are out of the class bracket, children who are not going to school, we want to let you know that this service is still ongoing and it is very open. But more importantly, I want to remind the country that a birth certificate is free if it is applied for before 6 months. So it is possible to actually never pay for a birth certificate if you apply for it in a timely manner. So for 0 to 6 months, you don't pay anything. And then after 6 months, a fee begins to apply with 10,000 for below 6, 20,000 for below 18, and 50,000 for adults. So it is possible to actually access this service without paying any single penny. We want to thank you very much for coming through, and we hope that everybody can get enrolled. Very finally this morning, I want to remind us, let us not sleep on the job. We seem to be stagnating at about 10.5 million renewals and 2.5 million registrations for fresh. Maasi tegujja kuddamu ng'omuntu bw'anaazaalibwanga obuzaale bwe bunaawandisibwa nsongesa embeerayo ddala njagala kwebaza ne ssekwebaza abazadde twabakubiriza wano nti oluwummula lwali lutuuse era ndowooza enamba gye mulabye ey'obukadde 2.5 abasingamu baana ekitegeeza nti twabakubiriza era ne muwuliriza muzze muwandiisa abaana oluwummula luno naye wakyaliyo bangi nga bwe mbalaze okusinziira ku nnamba gye twageraageranya twayagala okuzza obujja endagamuntu 15 obukadde 15 tulina obukadde 10.5 twasuubira nti abannayuganda 17 temunnajja abannayuganda baakajja temunnawera na bukadde 3,000,000 awo nno wembuuza gwatulaba olinze eki kyakweyagalira weesiimidde nti gwe gavumenti ereme kumanya toyagala buweereza oba oyagala kubeera omugubulira mu banno awo nno wembasabira nti mwettanira enkola eno buli omu afune desite n'amwawula ku bannayuganda abalala ate buli omu gavumenti emumanye afune obuweereza ate abeere wanjawulo ku bantu abalala mbeeyanziza nnyo mbeeyanza yes please
waliwo bannabyabufuzi abaagala okwesigawo ku bifo ebyenjawulo naye bali badde bakakirokedde okulonda emikono gyabwe nga akakiiko kakirimu nti nini zaabwe zirina wafunyeeko omuntu ofisi era obuzibu kibomwazo
njagala kulambika bwenti nti omuntu bw'aba ne kaadi okuggyako nga waliwo embeera ey'enjawulo okugeza nti oba takyali munnayuganda nti yabusulawo kyeyagalire ntegeregeze kuba omuntu omunnayuganda asobola okubusulawo n'abulekawo bwetaba nsonga eyo endagamuntu ezo zikola bwabaawo omuntu w'ekika ekyo alina complaint eyo asobola otutuukirira wabaawo ensonga era ntuwa n'ebbaluwa eweerezaamu electoral commission so ensonga ezo ne bwekwadde zijja tetusobola kuzaasambiriza kuba information ebeera person holder nti endagamuntu ya muntu era bw'asaba okubaako nekyabuuza tuddamu omuntu oyo tetusobola kwasambiriza nti ebya Paulo biriwo ebiti nti ebya John biriwo ebiti data protection naye nga bw'otutuukira tujja kusobola omulambika tetugwena ensonga lwaki kiriwo kityo. He asked a question that there are people who have approached the Electoral Commission with complaints that their NINs were not active or functional. I want to reassure the country that a NIN does not expire. What expires is the document. If there are cases where a person's NIN is unable to validate, that person can approach the NIRA office and they can be guided on what could be the issue, where need to be a support letter to give further credits to support the identification process can be done. Yes, thank you.
Colleagues from the fourth estate, I bring you greetings from the Uganda Inclusive Distribution Company Limited. I am by the names of John and Isa, and I am in charge of communication. I want to bring a very sensitive matter which concerns all of us. Electricity is very critical in our daily lives, and we want to appreciate it, and we take it as a matter of priority on our side. Allow me to give you an update on, I think, about now 165 days of our existence. A walkthrough of what has been happening at the distribution tower, right from the side of human resources. From the start of April, we embarked on the mandate of onboarding staff, and to date we have recruited close to 4,663 employees, both on contract and some on temporary arrangement to drive different aspects of the Deep down in terms of operations, we want to appreciate that we have been moving on cordially. But from the 1st of April, we inherited a number of faulty transformers across the distribution business, across the country, close to about 209. These have been replaced in due course, but also at the same time, we've been experiencing some faults as a number of factors I will array to you. On the side also of the business, we continue to witness a growth in sales of electricity. That as we come today in our 160 plus days, we have been able to collect revenue close to about 102%, which is above the regulatory target of 100%, which is a plus on the side of the institution. But relatedly, that also speaks on the side of the energy purchases from the side of transmission, which we have also witnessed that an 8.4% trajectory has been witnessed. Closely, we are going into 562 million kilowatt units, which we are purchasing from UETCL, coming from around 532 as early as April. So this speaks a lot in terms of service. However, in terms of the processes, we were able also to secure accreditation from the PPDA. The PPDA governs how things are bought in government, in the government space, and how also we offset what we have bought. We want to believe that electricity is operated differently, and we reached out to the PPDA for support to give us accreditation in how we procure critical items of the distribution grid, especially that we know that electricity is very vital. At the beginning of July, we received accreditation and we are able to procure items at a very short notice. And we want to believe that this is going to spice up the way how we respond to some of the major challenges, some of which we inherited, some of which we continue to face in our due course. And lastly, but not least, allow me wind up the status of the network. From the time we took over to date, we are witnessing stability on the side of the medium voltage line. That's the MV side and HP side. And I think the percentage so far witnessed in this month of July, we have just the month of August just passed, is at 97.3. This is a very great improvement. Although in terms of the LOB side, where the end user, the consumer, tend to really get the real punch, we are witnessing a little number of challenges. And some of these challenges are cropping seen a young person, may his soul rest in peace, who was electrocuted in Nansana when he was trying to connect electricity on the medium voltage line, which spans from Mutu, the substation, to Nansana. It's very unfortunate. But this is just one sample. And to try and answer that pain, as a company, on 23rd of July, we rolled out what we call the Weighted as a campaign, or what we can dub in English as regularization of power connections. And who were we targeting? We were targeting people who are on illegal supplies. Either you are hooking electricity, whether your meter stopped counting many years ago, or you applied for power and you delayed to get a connection and you chose to connect yourself. So those three categories of people are the ones we are looking out for. In the last 2 months, we have witnessed a very positive trajectory, and close to about 15,057 respondents have reached out to the entity to normalize their connections. This is not a small number, especially for people who have been booking. And as we have come here to report on Monday, about 25%, which is equivalent to 4,084 people have already been connected to the distribution grid. The connection process continues, as in the same vein, we are connecting those we inherited from Umeme, a total of 128 customers, and to date, as we speak, close to 118 customers have already been connected across the country. This is also good progress on that side. However, what do we request from you as the consumers of energy? Number one, we need to appreciate that the distribution segment requires investments. These investments, the investment gap that we are speaking about, came about from the time when government made the declaration not renew the Umeme contract in 2022. So Umeme stopped investing, and that means that they were recouping the investments from the distribution grid. And however, because of the different legal arrangements we had with the past concessionaire, we were unable to come in and invest directly. So that void has been big. We have seen the demand growing for the last 3 years to close to about 12.7%. Remember, demand is growing with no adequate investments being made. So this is the time we are in today, finds the 3 years void of the distribution investments gap. And that does that one mean for you, the end user? We are facing a number of instabilities across, where you are finding some areas can be off supply from 7 to about 10 p.m. That's during peak hours. We are hearing those reports and we know about them, and a lot is being done to ensure that we remedy them accordingly. Very also important to note that on the side of the distribution substations across the country, we did indicate that about 13 substations have surpassed the mark of 80% in adequate and urgent investment. Much as we are out there looking at the liability curve, power is on in some areas, power is off, but it speaks a lot on the side of the investments, which government give the business of manufacturing transformers to our local industries. And we think this is a very good start, especially for the young industries that we have. We have about 5 factories that we are drawing transformers from. We want to appreciate that in the past dispensation, these suppliers were doing the repairs. They were not doing manufacturing, despite the fact that they had the ability to manufacture. So this is something that is good on the side of the supply chain, but also improving the economics of our country. On the side, same side of supply, we are procuring meters from here. We also want you to appreciate that government has created a conducive environment for investors, and thus we are no longer buying meters from abroad. All the meters we are using on the distribution network, we are drawing them from our local industries. What does this directly speak to? All aspects that go into the distribution segment are locally being procured here. And in some instances where we are unable to serve you in time, we want you to bear witness that we have a young growing industry that we want to give a chance to fertilize to grow. But we know sooner or later, the void of the few challenges on the distribution grid, once they are addressed, we should be able to stabilize. Lastly, we want also to draw some kind of clarity on both emergency shutdowns and planned shutdowns. There are shutdowns as an institution we plan for, like for example,